Aya tutu ne kauno kawe tunga bulu tonga chayango are tita yango tindolo uikansande chayango are tita yango ne kauno
Shine good.
yang wo ale tita yang wo tiru tinuru tu kan shang chila kentana pai va palo tiru tino ale na uti ura no beswenzo aya tutu tiru tiba tutu onve Joyang wo ale Tivtayang Tiru tinuru Duga shang Chilaketana Baye babalo Tiru tino Angelina uti Ula no besenzo Ayatutu Tiru tiba Adudu Tutune kauno kawetwengao Umom ulu tongao Chayangu ale Titayango Tilu tindulu Tuika shangi Chayangu ale Titayango Tilu timbangu Tilu timbangu Tutune kauno kawetwengao Umongulu chongao Chayangu ale Titayango Tilu tinulu Tuika shangi Chayangu ale Titayango Tilu tinulu Tuika shangi Chilaketana Baye babalo Tiru tino Ailena uti Ula no beswenzo Ayatutu Tiru tiba Adudu onve Ulu nutise Choyame uale Titayango Tiru tinulu Tuika shangi Joyang ale Titayango Tiru tinuru Tuika shangi Chilaketana Baye babalo Tiru tino Angelina uti Ula no besenzo Ayatutu Tiru tiba Adudu onve Tutune kauno kawetwengao Umom ulu chongao Chayangu ale Titayango Tiru tindulu Tuika shangi Chayangu ale Titayango Tiru timbangu Tiru timbangu Tutune kauno kawetwengao Umongulu chongao Chayangu ale Titayango Tiru tinulu Tuika shangi Chayangu ale Titayango Tiru tinulu Tuika shangi Chilaketana Baye babalo Tiru tino Ailena uti Ula no beswenzo Ayatutu Tiru tiba Adudu onve Ulu nutise Choyame uale Titayango Tiru tinulu Tuika shangi Joyang ale Titayango Tiru tinuru Tuika shangi Chilaketana Baye babalo Tiru tino Angelina uti Ula no beswenzo Ayatutu Tiru tiba Adudu onve aya tutune kauno kawetwengao umon ulu chongao chayangu are titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chayangu are titayango tilu timbawo tilu timbawo aya tutune kauno kawetwengao umongulu chongao chayangu are titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chayangu are titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chilaketana bayi babalo tilu tinyo aile na uti ula no beswenzo aya tutu tilu tiba adudu onve ulu nutise chayangu are titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chayangu are titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chilaketana bayi babalo tinyo aile na uti ula no beswenzo aya tutu tilu tiba adudu onve tilu timba tilu timbawo tilu timbawo aya tutune kauno kawetwengao umon ulu chongao nguare titayango tilu tindulum tuwe kanshange chayangu are titayango tilu
Nigerians home and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Sitina Manse, one and Kang Yasin, to a chief Zo Shama. Aye, oh, Ageba ka Yuelika, Onon Batif Chiwa do a shatembe, Kuyori ambe yam. Ye, oh. Ageba amba tivchi wadue shatembe kuyori ambe yem bea andi shai andi hinyali kiboki kume kaulayo ndiayo yiyo wambea isa hyongunom su Due shatembe Kuyoli. Are you to call now? Are you to call now? Tivo. Nelo me ham open atila na kule tiveve. Kule tiveve. Sihide tele sishirinya. Selo hango wasi Mrs. Margaret. Aindi unelo moya. Une hi nyongune. Na zave sikiwa ikiwa peyondo. Alula. Na se hide sitima nenya. Amo na tema pena alula. Vo. Nemba registration ba na akpa ne vi hie gbin hacho. Saba na won se march pass. Unde sha. Aindi nya ka ko kratire hinyaga wa wasike tire sha tsende yo nanga besi. Ngwa.
Aondu teru uma teru bem tesisu masu wesuwe she ukurase sihi nyongune masiba nyo hi yange nyana ha semba sunwe sa chute wasi doti semba sunwe sa chungo wasi Professor Ayate semba sunwe sa chuhama kwa uelevesi hinyongune na ha Yehova ilune ka wega ya nyongune maitirega utu wa yange nyane sho ha severe utu wa yango nyane sho tesinse doshma na samba hide ne yange nyane nanwe masemba sono kenti Yesu Kristo se hama kwa sulu wele nyaya si achivi ashon ma au nawe ishun kenti Yesu Kristo si mi hira pesilu na shine wamba Yesu Kristo si mi hamma olu na mvem ko na shine wamba Yesu Kristo babulu bana ba hakmanda kwa si mi besha wamba Yesu Kristo masamba kan se wamba Yesu Kristo ato heme hamma kwa za gbavo kenti Yesu Kristo sigma hamma kwa suruere nyasi wa hakebyo ngo wasuna tilesha te wasuna tilesha hamma ona tilesha unanna mabesia samba sonu se chia jijinge sene nyokna ma kwove wase kwove osela silumunami mana dueti agbado kenti Yesu Kristo na samba sonu shizambewe se hamadzwa hamataham shi hamma kwa una henda navesia sikande wamba Yesu sha masika se gure kenti Yesu Kristo iyegem yo machia jingi wowo sene lusha vesi ma mzone adza kure elu weshimana kenti Yesu Kristo semba sono amen
Nelo moya kure ne Yesu Kristo ve se so kwasia wa indi kishi sha koho we sonando actually we vesela sitoyana snachivi he ondo we kuma sha ogboshamanta chilin asna gomna okwenta Benue Reverend Dr. Hyacinth Umemalia snaw chivi so hide chivi haikum e bra otiv jiminchi wan shano to otiv jiminchi snaw chivi he persevatem hanasi yamachivi sna ngwawase Her Royal Majesty Professor Felicia Badon Ayate sna chivi suwe kaso to ase masha akoso tive trata na jiminchi so he haje chira sidondo kwande sidondo sankra sidondo jemba sidondo lobby sidondo gwe atola chi sina chivi sina kaso chivi sina shon when shono chairman o Central Planning Committee o Planning Summit o Kasnet sina chivi Rosemary home professor sina chivi he ha amoro na ve shao group ba ve jiminchi se su choi kwande la se faje ushongo nguhe kwande nguhe jechira konshisha ma vandikia sankra pevelula se suve ka kasna la kuma logo se su jemba boko taka maburuku se su makudi alobi ka makudi ma gumajela snashon higwe ka gwe east ma gwe west se su andano kaswe su mo shall states baba balu henvevesi se su vishati hati he pestem ne ave ha north central se north se south ma south which is suve shaji la vovo ve va machin ve karanta snenge ve vovo se sune nya ka yang e vesin pushi ka yang e shao ha ne ba nya ne lu han tu ga ya nya ka so we kuma kwa han ve sono de we zege duwa ne a chung peyo o kasu shivite simze hame o kasu jiminchi se hinya tula bo kwa champeyo o kwase hinya tula vitese kwase na fata wolen kpenga we na tsemble adu edo kela ya hela tega kasu tesishachu mluve yove we fata kolon tsaha ma elen tsemble hinya tula mtemle nya do tsembe higen pepene shisiva hi mtemne Sitoyan Siloha, when Channel Chairman, who Center Planning Committee, Unalumoya, Professor Rosemary Ahom, Nelumoya, Nakwaranum Sudavan, Momadica, Pulene Chiataka, Unelue, Ashun Jiri, now Professor Yane, Kayane, Unakwarano, Sudavan. Sitoyan Sna Chivi, he Tivtelevision kavevelo do na vese cha humbe esitem he na alo lamp kwa he ya tachi wo ngwa wo ki Germany ki US ki British hamaji chi lelo ngwa na we ita wo su Nigeria ma hamaji na asisu Tivtelevision pushi shahamano kwaya Chief Dr. Mrs. Dokas Ukwe one of them Tivtelevision Lulaman shimi vo yeme is Lulaman hena alo hama kwalo le hen ya fawe alo nenge sha humbe malo nenge life polula silo chairman of Center Planning Committee unalumoya unana kwalo no msuda ban Professor wani kwaje kwa Professor Mrs. Undeshan Allo vahen ya ukara de shane yo ve nanga wotita chi about tem ki jima pavelu nanga ya awan chono nongo ye nyongo ne tema do tsembele jene kwasi ya Professor Rosemary ahon tsembele
Emsu se chicha dava me tile hen sha protocol established already la mso sungo wasi Her Royal Majesty one more ite wasika ilo ya His Royal Majesty Beauty Professor Ayate Otesin Ayate so sungo wasi go ti chicha globally go ti kitachi manshi kwasu vesin u abako se henya go wasi Her Royal Majesty Mrs. Felicia Mbadon Ayate Professor Mrs. Felicia Mbadon Ayate nyomi bela yango wasi ko se he chicha chichi se onu na ti on kasi ti
kasimba onu TV kita chichachi yako sehe in the maiden summit that was done last year 2024, first of its kind in the whole of Africa, in the whole world. We were gathered here, and that year we were told to build the broken walls of Tivnation. This year, our theme for the summit is build your homes. Ma yawo. Naha is vehe naha. Akanga pishi. Iwu hanongu aye nyomnene. Hakwa kwasiti kitaya. Nya na ha nye la ka nye si hiye nye la nye si vahen ne ya si vangeti simba be ya si ungwa mkani ma shi la mavesi nye wanwasi Dr. Dofan Agishi nye wase kwa temble hako wankyo sha tuwe willing au negin sha yo ya sa chu sulu bang bang ya shi iwo se ko tiban na ha nye dodo se ko alala tomu ngwa wasa hakika se tichi hako tiban kwala nye pilisi yo ban la guzan hembe zari hachu vision ungwa wasi ya negemi ye unegima hata hambo ondo ya kwasiti na dikla lunki changa ta wasu zaheme ka kwasi na maaya yi na ayo se ko bam la doshi wan wasi Susan yoyisa mo shasi wo se isesi he tomove shachu alu sesi luwe kwa ave sigba valentine awasiga shimbaji amba wanki yo wasiga pa ko lu emi kitiola ka je ko yo jela kwala panye do ngwa na nya isisiba kumba he na msu se chicha davan ve nene to bu nene she nengine kwa shingwa ne kwa semble une wasi se chicha chi kuma wasi askasiti so da pe ya ta wasu edo sulu kunun pe yo sulu eza yoga ya na ha msu ne chicha davan he tumane dido kwa mom uneza yo henga sheka sive yesi la si vo sikule nya pa yo ve va la mne ve si he ka se va la ma ve si she se be ya se va machi kwa se machi kwa si duwe kwa o si sungo wasi kaka atamne slueli he nya angela msunechi davan
Nelo moya kulene chama avega chama sisu kiki shachu unangenwe mtemne kabo neve mtemne loye shu salon semble na do nangen pishi se toyane kayane gbepese sisu ngwa sijene obute yaka yire mat pass se tiv kasi yire kasuka Nelo moya na washima se edu tika ka se jwe chama se mana yuan ga ya batawalo karan se so ntemne tsembele se su Central Planning Committee vitemado pushije wayo tsembele siva sun karan ya se ACPC ve heme kaswato ve chi esu kala Ashame angwa DJ Sisu Keke se ve shimase slow program na kwase vele ka gan se ovulu temanya tsembele ga ya temanya ya se zahme na hishene se yen ha program weso o slow alon kwa presenting first paper temne inge gay child upbringing and prostitution esi so ono esi tsembele su wawe kwa shachu mko yota hachumlu kwasi manumlu wesi kita anwen shano ono esi pepala tsembele da duwe kira ya ka Professor Elizabeth Kembe welu moya o esi pepala Nelume ya kulene Professor Avetemblega Professor akwa kikiga ma jemo Professor Yavinyo to shin buruku hela kumota shin to mom ya to lukwa ya lobte ya unge hijiri ngela the aquatic and distinguished and aquatic and acoustic pest wala chi yange hitala says to Professor Sinawayane.
Uhungulu walun ye or Professor ya ele se swiminology ga. Msungo tiv. Msu kasif chi. Mto msange hak pamak malaga. Medatsume. So mtile hanga hala MC wesi. O wesi dodo. Yango yila ye mo balam ha girl child upbringing and prostitution. That is a si nongu, si wasi, si kosu. Mba ekasi yesi mba chuku mba nini. Aeve akperagaya. So right from the beginning ya title topic la tesiye kwa zayo. So mcheki hinshima hama shen yaka iwolun kwa onumba kase iwo kwa kase mba inonsu mba nene ya kwa zabe yoga kwa zayo hela pange pa kwa single posu kasi kabebelu conscience of the society, that is kabebelu tine utombo shitino ya kabebulu hama kwa alu kwa za kwasi yo ya kwa za yo jim na kwa la do msungo anenge ye momo fati olame hakwa get child upbringing ya na melu nungwa izwa ha I hope ni understand se chi uzama kranta kwa empowerment na nka kwa la silu nungwa ye momelu nungwa na hama shenu ima wa ya embe kalu tombo la ka embe wanu he ha chukam ze menu tombo go mo ne ma wa ye metesi wa me adaye bagaga pasamba ere nu genu kasi eve mba e kasi balala kaveda gbaha bia business like me wa me business hachu but shingo ho nyare na me identify kala chuku so that as ngoya siso ya so me see remember that kwa ngo we say hine ka structure unumbene minga ka structure unumbene minga shi o mom na fatio eringa sa si zua si support vision ne structure udzege na anje ihi hanyom we kala ka wa second time journey alu nemba yani luha first women summit laya go yang mi wo ma agbe kwere aka kasi si neve mba e kasi asivulu san sheye na ha second summit ne ya go so si so fa ko we neve si aelen esi vemba e kasi vulu san sheye so me sange chuku shi me sabasa ha chu nelu zwabute ya teacher e mona ha ma si tata ha nya ba ka nzo tiri agbape ala nzo ti ya melu nongu ne mi so number 1 mmoko parenting me ye tesinu kasi tesimpa ye vi fakwa ha magbenda chi before nagin ha yorove she will equipped settling in the society na ha parenting utiv kwa zayoke so me sange ha chuka ngoalu yaye unage mba kasi asemba nene semba tesimve ve tuma ve benefit ga number 1 ufasi dekwa early marriage pasemba supporting kasi mba ya semba kasi will stable in marriage ga will stable in life ga we washimaga and I will identify these things. Number 1 unange kasi mba kasi kabe zanom ya semba webe kwa une nave velu content ga 1 poverty can underlining factor so no muwering for 1 year kwasi hintivia ka an excuse an escape kwala pandi higon pakwa ogeni dimension ogeni ngu kabeda hide ha yaya kasi gumashi kira alu no sumbaba ningi heya kasi gumashi kasi frown at kwa alaga number 3 ya mba ya save kabe duegeri samba pinenga especially alu vida va kwa hin leda ya samba pinenga mba kasi mba ne nevi fahigonye we inamga so meda kemi va mi ya ngwa na over pinemo so kwa chukuje ba maren kabe vora wano kabe vora ve mon vora Agnes mvola na kwa we so chia number ogeni ya mba kasi asi si fatomo vieringa shisemba pinenga Mba ekase kwa gen kabe duegeri. Evida viluda hidden ekwaje. Semba pinenga. So find a source, which means the end justifies the means. Esilu pinenga je vehenye anything she goes. Kwa ya semba training mba ekasi hatoma vega. Highest position ukwasi ya ufa modify kwasi. Kwasi mlu kwasi chiku. Kaka gene ka mfati olunga ka kwa sex. Unenge kwasi je. Shima yoka za kwa sex. Come look, a woman is commodified as a sex object. Naturally. Shalunu kwasi yaku pleasing nonsu. So nonsu mba nenge kwasi as a sex object. So but that is an ideology. In practice, but perpetuate ourselves as kasimba outside of being a woman, ufatio kwa she achieving kwa on your own person. Ungwe education, ungwe the skills. So as long as you encouraging mba kasi with Zamakranta will reach their apex, she be acquire skills gaya. The other part to commodity la une supersede. That is why he je mome kwa go wese levesine. Semba nenge kwane at a very low level. Ukoho Kassive Summit. Ibu bam. She semba meeting. This is the second meeting. Structure go on the ground. Umbaya seve bagagaya. Me on a story. Mgo following some by Kasimba Ering Baga in Taraba and Karu. Ya Pastor Begu da oye. Mommy tindi nyare hachu. Bagain ya 14 years to 16 years. We saw den trade shun she we saw hidden. Nange 14 years. Muva hakwara. We saw hidden. Nongum tindi njamoto. And now 6 of them from Jalingo. A member from one of the local governments. And Navenja Moto. Ahen yebi hide hachwa tovea wa moto hidden haya. Next outreach ya ada nenge mba e kasim balala. In the same spot. Angwan tibi. Na ke ko mgoho. Kanyi kwa nahana. Zendi neni mo ni nyoga shin. Abike mama ungu tindi se yese hide sin yasi ba enyi. Alu fulani wase gaya jena wase. That is why mama kwasi hine bam ne especially cast structure. Cast structure you cannot do anything without money. Mba ekasimba ni ba in 3 categories. Children on the streets. Children on the streets ne kamba abandon ve. Abandon mba ne ufa mba kasimba gen ba o yagashi. We so hidenga. Operation base veka on the street. But we said it's okay. Kwa vega. They're on the streets. Ka street girls. The option ku wearing baga. She semba children in the streets. Ka category show wajera. Children in the streets ba ne ba o ya. Kabe tuwe pepe ya beda e tomu vus nege du one na benyarela including baga wearing. Na ha vidza vida e tom vi hide hiya balala opine be kwa ga chukabe hidden jemba hidden we kwa she vid negi yo fati ona be kwa baga some situations but poverty alu preeminent ya alu paramount ya can find children in the streets vi de pepe wayo vi do egere vi hide ba ya but nobody can caution them. We shall tire children from the streets. Children from the streets, banene. The only difference of children on the street and children from the streets here is that the children from the streets, veya katon vejera. We saw any other option ga. That is why aludza nguda lamine bageni ya ve oloye ve so uten tom nega ba option ga ka ko vi choose werenra na halu investigate from thoroughly ya. Some of them and most of them ba from homes babulu suffering from domestic violence, ba from homes ba he abused very sexually. It is a quo. Then Poron Hinchimemo Yaga. What I crap. Naha, it is a we so find any other life. Gahachu we negi libake. Those are children from the streets. So alu semba dealing by kasease and prostitution ya. But Pacific background we again with that because of charm. And that is why I am saying that empowerment is key. Empowerment say call nave skills go, but again we saw rehabilitation in terms of accommodation. But again we give up on themselves and in the school for education. Now rehabilitation only include counseling. So this very important tomu ondwa ningo wesiye aene among say semba funders, semba those that are in counseling, semba food soldiers. That is babeza they that interact when by kasimba nene they nongo fan whether they can stop it. Na ha mgu zambu nungo alu nengi ye ungu contributing in any way. Uwelini wawo shashacha chumbagan ya ka comparing we duwe vidaye kwa la kanyi kwa goya o hama shongu badum muchahu yo bakwa womba ere kwa la and all of that kasi nave kwa la luna haye. And then Tiv patriarchal values commodify kwasi mvande walun kwa la. Tiv patriarchal values commodify kwasi. More gender ya kame walun ya unagi kame a woman stands on her own. Kwasi ka tile haindina. Ba uvana kwasi her level below this ya. Ka na kwasi alwe tahavga. Unagi te wasi toti Professor James Ayate CFR. Ava kwa ogeni si henye ka kwa chuku. Our girl child inheritance. That is an empowerment. That is recognition. Mgu soni me kwa la di do pronouncement sega. As mkoho ne mzone sifati of passing a bill to the State House of Assembly. Kwa la lutindi education inheritance as pronouncement by G Tamaya. Unange bagebe ka umawano kwa so nama. Ene me fati o sharing dako kwa laka ka erin wesiga. But coming to cultural erin ya si zendi ve tobi si huwa tobi na ha si zendi but yangi ne yasemba dressing why sin ya sinko holu une nasem zehemira. That is why girl child inheritance ado. That is why say chi masi encourage, she masi ne, masi lumu, masi gay petition on la to House of Assembly. That is so ye girl child in Tivland. I didn't know just a pronouncement by Gita Menga. Alu tindi alu a law. So alu u prohibit ya. There are sanctions. She totive she walk wall. I pandi costs at burials, at weddings. Mihi ha burials. Ka wan kwasi ka to kwa la chicha hatio ye. Apart from burial, al wangi she makranta she usuva here ya she sule do nyom lega si vele kwa hinu yamba tv. Babu kuma inheritance ga. She ka kasiv she belu floating. Rule cost of burial ye. Hachuka sesi yolon ye. but the economic impact ye una say empowerment ga hachu at the end of the day uyan canopy uyan kujera uwele kane chicha alungu wan kwasi tuan ya ka wan vio pa categorize eta tave shika wan kwasi yana ka be da nongo vi ton vi va kwa la ye una ge erenga alu tesinga ka se sinave kwa ne unetile do ye because we need to grow out of poverty. We need to grow out of traditional customs and values that do not enhance the thief people. We need to grow out of this. Wedding, baka the same thing. To oye viesi ipandi share. Mba ikasimba geni kaye eve 6 months kwa laka pa. Ha chualu vihinyali hakwasi gben yaga. Don kwasi maka hingi bo kwasi hashi yo. Ha chua now chan. Kaulu annoyed. Haka mo 1 million chichaye. To kaye pandi kwala. She can't say still resisting ye. So alu customs bagene tinangi yeka kwaga. Manka zege kwa. Marriages bakala tega. Hachu flamboyance laka naya. Kabe hide ya chanka hi. Ma alu changu ya. Nangi bonding laka aluga. Love shikabe. So sinongu ne. Alu bapesi pandi kwa. Yaka se silu agents of change la ye. Shika se silu lamin nongu ye kwa la de ye. Ade lu se kasi silu perpetuating kwa boga. Se hongwaga. So recommendations are about one of it cluster empowerment. Cluster empowerment ne ya mnengi me. Ka we so yemba e kasi vidig baga as individuals ya ka taveve. Ha chunyi peer pressure ka alu. Alu vi due. But just finu no yila ye via wan wu nya ne uduega ma uba hene yongu caught in between uduen shinu changing. So cluster empowerment means that alusiba identify food soldiers as in bavelu interacting be groups banini ba all over ba hin Kaduna ba hin Karu Jalingo Lagos Hamaji ba. See identify Jane a food soldiers where you interacting na be meto empowerment me da kohone. Mzo tiv, kasif tiv, we so ere kwa aveni. We so ere kwa aveni. Shika 1, 2, 3, 4. Si so ere neveni ye. Aluni umbu ya. It took just one meeting. One meeting. Walon baby dondo zwa wesine gedeshin so yilantiga every day video serving just 1 year well house boy house girl hivela yambe pa ma be talk pa we walu paga ha chui wo be yila be meeting wo be we so ye vidikala serving oga alu nemba yani use be shini umbu nyom la yani fa. Yeah, Vinda, she be explain anything to Master Vega. We ba talk ba baby yam. Na ene na sesitave it yo. Kawada hi ulamene wan kwasiti ya. Ayange ne jakwa social media da via shin ni check ve la jo. De kwa recommendation bien kwa. Gene ha chwa kanenge. Erenge. Utu ha social media. Utesin kasimba velue know how uyavene know vema wongo ega. Ni nange real logic ba. Vemba ega man kabi yem to very terrible level. As an adult me fati oro ne ka ageniga. So cluster recommendation you meet them at their points. Ka we nongo ntiari out at the defense ka. Ka meet at the points. Especially alungwege mzo wesine alwege ya. Ushawaya skill empowerment, and we need a solid structure on the ground. We need a solid company structure. Via ata or tom ulu producing a car alu kimbi we ulu enjoying subsidized accommodation. In the first place here, Hintabute and advanced places, can subsidize even accommodation as social welfare facility. It's not subsidizing a car. But we saw Zama Granta as subsidized for V. She a label vega. How to stigmatization and labeling can navia vihidejime. Which means bagaka kwa wesihin tivga akunaka kwa wesiga gaya kunya malu kolun ufangise yaya alu wanwo as ngo iyila ye wanwo duwe geri hidega yana lu ko kunya. So which means kakwa wesiga kakwa tivga. So si vinda kwa kunya wele akbara egbaga anything si so yela I change etila he go he drop take yela scarlet gas yela social workers yela to make it acceptable bagbaga no sound nation une so ye manpower na especially cassive and you're into baga. So recommendation uhuaya bape anave skills anave social welfare packages. Ushautaya and the final one yambandi walun. Kwadi sa hakwa walun tega. See put actions, words into actions. Hachu, I'm very, very happy that between last year and this year, nye God tasting a structural post office for BAM. So between 1 year, semba a structure on the ground for BAM. Alungu enyo BAM nega bapo nyo. Moyam ge tikpa mwe taga. So mo he yameta BAM. She me look very serious. Hachu silu olu hadzoye so yemba kase ase bedi eleng bagaga me hide hin yaya me ba enyi. Me hide hin yaya me ba enyi. Uba elinyila ma semba structure. Man, it takes every one of us according to level we see. Bagan bidi hene ye kwa mzone ka kwa unzege bakasiga aluka 1 naira bakendi aluka 10 million bakendi kwa laune van zeheme. Some soon chi for moya ka a big honor uvatile he manenge mlanzo ati prrm da bekera ka a big honor uvatile he la meneveni ka kwa chibi gomsu msu gbin msu ne luna dido nzodo.
Nelu moya kulene Professor Vega. So Professor anakwa alon la temble o koho yemeda duwe kela. Ave shibaye eono maungomba TV ungwa kwa la temble anyoave kishima ve tese ahijea ahiwuwe singo TV at least ava duwe kasu TV avekwa velu ikav itesi ka yange vejene vekwa we ta we vange ino sivela hala kwa ve mo ve zaga vekwa mba yange ve mba tsene keve awe singo TV shakwa la tsembele unave yani zuwana ya oronungo oron TV nave TV kwa velu hatsene keve velu tsembele kita yo ve faye kakasu TV jene ayela wona velu identity welune identity ka kwa kikiga bagemba identity ga bango wasu TV nango ya kasu TV vihingile identity vihinglu tesiye ka yange vejene ka vezuwa ya ive tema ve wakwa shachimlu tsenge vekitane uzuwana yo bageno kwa faye kasu TV ono TV ba yange ve mamba tsene keve utema lamen kwa awakwa alu ongwe toya ungwa uso sanu tombo woya Professor kwala tsembele ulu pinaneka uwa yo ha tombo wo wana de hemban wevega kasumba fikwa assembly ya bada nongo mukwa wa hemba mo wa kondoto wa melingino batte yoga kakwabe ve so achu yangi genya kamba ve lutsombola jara sisongo wase masisu bishisha kwa arono ditola he anene siva be ya siva no waro na je siva yemne program ne kasu visa youth visa na ya na kaya ni youth you leader ngo kwa ahidebe ne gamaya ne na kasu chishin va hamba ne oko va hi kwa wa youth semble wuka wojene program ne ya ne youth panane lu tsene ke ven e kasulu na ma va hamba ne you leader shin livers over hamba yuri ikwana hembo yaga ti kwa velo ngwa shelo ngwa tachi afa namba nuru na gundu hitana na libanyiga ngwa gona ka you leader River State ga na ona na kwa alon kwa utesi number
msu andro basha mantala msungo apchi hayangi nyane mungwa ku ngom we malame mana hongwa higone so mungwa dom achukwa hi kwa ya pine e kwa ne yo ha angbana esi kasi na no so ya iyo hakwa venyi so mtumarela na mungwa dom achuku semba silu sikala luhi yagane ajire pesule mona mbu River State tiyamka yosi yofa zayoru kasi nongulu nemi kise mbe nozo ya ka se da nyoshi ji apesimo achuku bagani ya kembe nozo banane bagani ele kala zanyo he state he babuvo bi yemi shiri ambada keri gbondo alumushi ifato integrating the back to a car dido ya mabro ya bakaba da gureve nyonu shira mzo uti usilwe mishira taha kabugumabu yinase kijume kara chuku yangamba ya na ha ma propose ko gane me alo elumu ya wanban esimba kabada nyoshinji la ya da some opportunities mabro hinji la ya like jira ga jirim kule there are some programs but uwe hinjira ve wasu ma udzwa atomya na programs black udzwa na certificate la mom ka tavishi pa alwe collectively mzo team na ha ada yira yo ma training yo kibala na ha vada ma ka mzo team ayira ve vaya is subsidized even the price and in that certificate ba fatio attending la chief fatio na certificate la ma chika gba pe to na pa ya ki gba po short iwe hachu o fatio ton ko ahiji la yemene mi mapega ya ko fatio za ha ke bi o ga ya ma alwe iguma ida nengi kamzo tif nengwe base haya iti ma state ve Steve ma base ve ma hoba chijia kamba hemeni mbane ne vi recommend ko aneve alushin River State hachune asizwa tompa itiomla ye kasiga after it because u training ka ko gani somebody e ha mimi je wan bande mamba unave tom ba ko afoto nzuga mbava seki nemba seki jume e hoba don bakasa venyono ha ya mtawe wosi akasa venyono eke mbagene be vande yange be vande vana njakwane ilumu ka mimi batawe tioshi manzu kwa bana banzu kwa ba higo mommy mama wosi abalumu utile se kijime tonse yemene miske hemene seba pine siva haya na ha na elumu ya apesilula manada nongu hachiku connection ne une mohi ya ha une nyoshinla ya basilu state vembla kpa ve humba nengi nevesi ma ere kwa vesi tembele na ha alu ene numu ya hoka shane yesi manum sonu se mba ye kyayo su sonu evene kwa shima mba ye ne mba kase mbla kpa mba bulu shina vesi chi sema sonu ye ne lumu ya man se hajire sulu semba sikra lu state ne gara na man se nongu u zuanse veyo mba hi host state masilu hela na ha hanja kwa ne ya sekpa ma sifati o disappointing nega achuku neza manada tilu a kind of shorty shine a kind of only yes ko truwele kanene nase truwele mine suwele nene benguga ka mimi sitire truwele ya after the training integrity say senior ki companies be baba say etiomne chisekpa he gonna see the sitire tsembele semba e sikra nane ahenga mayangega msungo msu kasaba uranchi meru mamla mahenga meru you leader of state you leader uti worldwide mamla mahenpa adue kahana have matire hemla me bone hindeje uneka agani aruhi ya mkrada fambega bone hinde ya unelamshami msu stechi
elo moya guma yo kwa kulena veve we nongo pishi kwa wayo gane ka vadu gaya tawe mana nongo assembly jesisu yidlida o River State gumo meme ngo TV shegenya a program wono wo ko zwa tipa ha chwe hiwe ka ngolu ne wa hi ya na alwe ngo yo na hi fan zwa tiga kwa la atawe pishi aka sigbi ailu lame ngagbe yeme na hala ngagbe yeme ka na hala ma ko cho wesungu yeme tindi wa hi gen wona na zwa tuna na fa kwa la ga sa yira we Saint Leave alwe shin yira we kungure ku pana yira we Saint Leave na Africa kungure ku yo fa kwa la ga fa kwa tuna ga fa kungure ku ga o fa gba ye je kwa la tavena ma ka kwa ka yira we fa yo tif ngu shi zwa ngu jela atie se popo na alwe she gane program la wo zwa team na haya ngo atese zwa Tivtelevision na sike gbona wo hi vemba yo su we fadzwa wose shi kocha wose pa ngure wo lo lam hena wadzwa butega orna e kwaraka de mo twen mt hena na sinongo dzwa wose ne pa kana ne local studio no dzwa TV go and tell your father la on be here or Bobby Eva or daddy this and that and ulaman kwangla na une be here ya zati Eva unenge professor kalam he do want do ona fe ayem zati Tivtelevision ka motwe mfama ka gbapona yela eke ya yela okay na ha adaro kposue na alo esitesia pamfa jeme ko nevenja kwala eyo ka olame binga professor ka lam zo buti trapped laga yange gonende je kade u ke na lam za tivga na kwala lu fe malo kutiu na bolu lamenga na ngowa si shegenya umbu tsembele hi wongo we so se wanu we lu za tivya se to ayane sisi yem ha pepa ogene ugbepe shiselo hango wase una batisia inge child trafficking la wan shuno na nase kwa alon ka Mrs. Gloria Bai Welumuya, Upotono Sikwa Shamakpoa, Sulukene Kagan Kihame, Ava Bea, Seyo. Now, Gloria by Welumuya, Kayan Eugene. Nelumuya Kurana Neve. Se alo to hanset hen welu wogaya ngowa se kwasu tegwe nye hanset sound hen awobe kala na alo nye we to hanset la ya oba mi unenge hanset olo nanga ya bagen gbe na jije on ne o ka bia na ga alo on va na yo na ga na anga ya alo kwamba hivi na luchanja kwa laga bahenwe
Nguso gom vese mango tivchi nso ngoa babru henchi ti mizaheme ya so yira yo yamji MC o he bazo Tivtelevision na ha ni yamanyinya abe he ya uka mudai he is active when in Tivtelevision or bibilula gaka sange na ha ni yamanyinya shi nege me bagani baruhe sima kasiti ba on simba ti bagani vi kasi kativga ma bahen vevesi na ham so me muru lame no gwan zobute so da bagani mba vi onwe si tiv ma bru tiv gala pokpa ve ungwa ya na ngura kpashimbu ton ya hingo mu vesi me manam ya mamnu ngwa zobute manzoti chichi mizaheme ya so sungom mvanenge ngoa mbaruhe ya mpine mema mona ha bapemitile mila mayo mbanchi muwa wana kiriki weni na hamtile hashi yene baka hak tiu momi nenge wene mufacho eren lamune veni hatomuru mvemru eri hibenwe nene akaye mumvatile he na ha msu ngom ha biachivile nemne kwa langu ya mewe ko atavinshaga ngom amtume nunya mamsu me kai unam chivije gandi ngwesima nzambe kurene ngoma ve meriton ve yomba yilaye naptipla naptip yaka National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. That's where I work. And I've been working as a zonal commander for the past 5 years in Benue State. And there are issues that came up that my mommy, I call her mommy to Tiv, called me on several occasions, and we had to sort it out. And through these 5 years, I have seen things. Thank you. Through these 5 years in Benue, I have seen things. In short, before I came to Benue State, I was a very proud Tiv girl. Chimvayao. Don't you know I'm a thief girl? Don't you know I'm a thief girl? Don't you know I'm a thief girl? The NY office was Gandhi. Because I grew up knowing the values that we had. Professor said something. There are certain things that were alien to us. It wasn't our culture. There are certain things that were alien to us completely. Usasi hiya alaya. Aka gani yana ungwa ya. She go erimbia kwa go. We put her head in shame. Ya kongo dwe no kwa pe yovuluga. Ye wan na ha da imbia kwa ne na ha. In short, Professor Lame ya. The only thing she didn't say, she talked about prostitution. But I will not talk about prostitution. I'm talking about forced prostitution. There are two different things. Onakai na anda e baga. Na rere baga hashima na. Ma oriki na e baga. Ka two different things. Kapo nap TV Angela. Shegen yo ka pine mbe kasima wearing baga agbona na udo call vega. Oriki na e baga. Ya ikina, which is forced. And that is what we call human trafficking for sexual exploitation. I usually don't do my papers present my papers halfway, but I will try because it's long, and like my officers will say, I love to talk, but because most times if I have an opportunity, I want us to understand exactly what human trafficking is. Gone as those days, children were seen as assets. Children were seen as assets. We were there to assist our parents in farms, at home, to do the chores. Even on Christmas Day, I remember growing up, even when we started having picnics, you will have to finish the chores, cooking the Sunday rice, serving everybody before you take your bath and go out. And there will be time that will be given to make sure we're back home. And even in the farms, the children were the ones that were very happy, led the way, and went to the farms to work with their parents. And mothers were actually mothers because the mothers took control. They said the men are they are the leaders of the house, but mothers take control of the house. And that is what I grew up seeing. So, and it got to a time that if your mother just looks at you, her eyes alone, you will know what to do. We didn't need them to say anything. We didn't need that. I remember if I visit a family with my mother who are at the dining table, the eyes she looks at you, you know, you say, no, I'm not hungry. Hey, me yaga, it can go away, she say, my leadership in uso yana, uso yaga. Because I share I can give well our kwa. But now, Mbaesi, she see Vesia, he young gone. We didn't know who was not her child. We did not know who was not her child. Achingoya we ruhi yala chia uruwa. Ukaye bakamba gala yaluga. You will later understand why I'm laying down this narrative. Every child in the home was the same as any other child. There was no difference between this child and another child. But what are we seeing these days? We had a culture that, child, I remember my mom will go to the village and bring people. And my father will be like, why is this woman still carrying people now? And sometimes the people she brought from the village had more rights than we, the biological children. Mothers, am I lying? Ngo I'm wearing a year. Yaiva amba ekrega. Viva vuhiya. Ukposu wanu imana hiyala. Ma wani iveva na la yanalo. Shengenje sa kwasila na kawe gunu nenge mine ne ka wamga. Vo fawe gun ka unagaye. Mama onje na kae ka wanu na renu ko hashima na ruwa na yi. Uwe hashima na ga onu so eru ne maru pa. Ne vi ishma we. Ba hungo mba esi si hiu tese mba esi mba geni kamba ega. Kangu momma ngunga. And that's where child trafficking starts. What is child trafficking? Before I even go on, a child is somebody below 18. But culturally, say, because culturally, if somebody is your senior, the person is your mother. So we did not say because she didn't give birth to me, she's not my mother. And that was why a mother from another home could caution you in your own house. And that was why we also ate in every other mother's house around the same environment. Because we didn't know about poisoning another child. Where I grew up, they will live where their house. As they are playing in my house, when there's food they eat, my brothers will follow those ones. Wherever they stay there, the mother cooks, they eat. But now, it's not like that. So when you talk about child labor, child trafficking, later we'll understand that human trafficking cuts across different forms. It could be for child labor, it could be for begging, it could be for sexual exploitation, it could be for organ harvesting, it could be for even, domestic servitude, which you see children in people's homes that are being treated in a way that it's as if they are slaves. So come on, trafficking ya, bagala tega. Because first we need to start also understanding that the way we treat children can also, which professor even said it, can make them to become wayward. We have young girls now that give birth and people lure them to sell the babies. Yomba ayangino rukene kembe ambe kasimbalaya. Kika ave muzawe tate wala zwa nyale. Wan kwasi nanda ma itewa maba ma yemenemba ese hintagbo biomba humba yame. Most of these children from unwanted pregnancies are sold to the east. Mommy, I'm sure over time, if we don't stop this, you will have many T-blood in the east. If this is not curtailed. Right now, I'm doing a case that somebody came to Guma local government because of the issues that are happening in that local government. He has moved almost 400 children out of Benue State. And I just returned one that was bought for 2.5 million. The good thing about that girl is that at first she kept telling me when I picked her in Abuja, she said, I'm not Tivo. And she said, my mommy and daddy are in Abuja. My name is Ibokumi or something like that in Yoruba. Then I kept telling her, don't worry, when we get to where we are going to, you will know where you're coming from. So when we got to Makurdi, I took her to my house and my little niece started playing with her. The next thing she told me, I said, do you remember anything in Tiv? She said, I remember Moha, Tarunyi, Tian. That was when I said, praise God, that at least this girl knows something in Tiv. Because in less than a year, she has been cultured to become a Yoruba child. All the children that were taken from Guma, from the few who have returned like about 27, all their names were changed. Not even one single Tiv name was left. We had David Eze, Precious Zion, Ibokumi. There's one right now that's returned, and that is even becoming difficult for us to locate their parents because they don't have a Tiv name anymore. So it's the picture we've been going around now with in Guma. Do you know this child? Do you know this child? But we tracked this woman. She bought the child. They tracked two of them. There's another one we have tracked. The child is in Lagos and the woman is begging, can I see the mother, the parents? Let me negotiate. Do you negotiate over a human being? I want to negotiate. In short, the voice notes that I heard, she kept saying, but I paid for this child. I paid for this child. That's human trafficking. No human being is to be sold. But it's close to 4. I'm just being cautious not to say 400 children, but I'm sure of 300 children out of Goma local government. If those 400 were to be kept in a local government and they grow up and procreate, wouldn't they become a nation? That is how we're losing our children. Papi blame yombra tsega blame kase. Yombra ya viva kohole to. Wikaemba yemnemba ye tanave zamakanta. Ato ka toje yavi tumahi uyave vi yila yo eviva namba embaye kwasi moya na wamba na namba unyi ugera ya ruvava na mo anamba unyi aide nguzani na vegbili nampi no mo ngonu namba unyi klave uido ngu jingire vezendi ngweri inyi ugera kave sie onna ahina mahina ne yavre nyonyo mohaga shi pinoye younger man yamba rumana tumba kwa yoma yavika from kindergarten je ve make so naturally one way nyoma nyoro haga ma unakra we na dazama kanta. Mommy, the ignorance our people are exhibiting is another level. It's too high. What can they tell you that you will give out a child less than 2 years that the child is to go and be given to school? What can they tell you? It's because we'll go down to it. It's because of parental neglect. Nobody's ready to look after a child anymore. To the extent that we were the ones telling our mothers, Mommy, mom, because your mother treated you like a baby even when you were in the university. Mothers were never tired. But this human trafficking vices that we're seeing is as a result of parental neglect. Now, what are the causes? What is human trafficking? Some people don't even understand what human trafficking is. That's why I said there's a difference between a girl that is prostituting or an adult that is prostituting, let me use the word adult, because for a child under 18, there's no consent. She has no right to prostitute herself. She doesn't even know what she's doing. Because the Constitution of Nigeria says as long as you're below 18, you are a child. And that means you can't take decisions. You can't. Even in prosecution, court under 18 je unaka lukposu. Gicheke is bangaji. Juvenile, now we have juvenile court. Chisimba prison for umbaye. So they are not the same. So one year kwasu anakaye na so erin baga when aru below 18 je ka 1 year. She constitution act to napti plakaye consent for a child is no consent. Mommy, you know all na ha. She midnight me zambure we me. Iye law geni, which some of us are living in foreign countries we know. You cannot take a girl below 18 or a child that's not yours below 18, because I know there is homosexuality. So, you can't take a child or a girl below 18 to a hotel. That alone, you'll be arrested. Because young girls, I mean, Makodi is an urban place. Makudi na ku nenge ba kasi chuku you vinyoro nemiki ki hotel. But there's no law. There's no law. If you live in US or the UK, how dare you take a girl below 18 into a hotel? Even if it's your child, you will give that at the desk, you will explain very well why this, and give a proof that this child is my own and we're on transit or on holiday and she needs to stay in this hotel. But we see adults, we see men in black jeeps, men in tinted glasses are the ones picking these girls. I was sitting near someone and the person said, if there is no buyer, will there be a seller? There's always, if there's no buyer, there will be no seller. If there's no demand, there will be no supply. Ari yomba za hajire da tombe kasimba angaya. Mbe kasimba rave duwe kaswala. Shialu okaega o we no so ukawe wakwasine ka 1 year yumya. Mitoga ya achu most of them are name him makudi erugerine. Unenge me by below 18. Ajire gane vidu vivala. So maybe you specific places guide my sound as if I'm stigmatizing them. But Ike Ivana ha from Iva Makudi, Iva Tomla, Sembo having house civic by Yeme. And Kahaji river kwane nene. Mba with trafficking, Bakavi Kae. One who get young, you remember Kasimba Geni, neither call Vision Lagos. We are about to Yemeneve Ghana. Kela ya rukrenyi. Kwa we kela la yangi, umnenge wasigan kame guda ba Yemen Ghana with a kwalata. But what he didn't understand that in Ghana, they will be prostituting for another person. And a situation where Uzizawe either veru we unguere bagara ogena ungo nyare. I don't know how to color it, but it is a situation, it's a very disturbing situation. Even yesterday, I was having a training and somebody said one girl came back and her womb was coming. Saya doing. If you are going through 20 men in a day, is it normal? But it is happening. And just yesterday, I was able to also get statistics here. And it's not just this year. From 2021, 22, 2023-24, Benue has topped the chart on human trafficking. And it's because of our rescue. Because when we rescue them, we document it. Professor was talking and she said there's going to be a scheme, a situation where we need to go to where they are. I got a report last week that there's a 16-year-old that is trafficked to, I think, Anambra or so, Kaida Veve Hotel. She come by Kasiesi, Bavidze, Vidabe, Shinvi Kimbi, Vibera, Kabavi Hide Kiya, Shiva Kuramba Kasimba, Yeme, Dairene Kala, Veka Ve, Nyarive Kiyavi Kimbi, Madan Lala, Veka Shive, the Vezwa Nyai Kila back. This, to me, is a poser. Kwanen Waru Machu. No ga ni tumaya. Sikene Gunda. Haka Shimbe Kasimba we decide. Save he de keve vakura semba ve yememi. U yeme wakwasu 16 years. Wakwasu geni isi Zoana recently. Aka wene yawen ru 13. Ito yemena to Edo. A young and yoaka or hotel, like yonayaka, hey, this one is too small, this one is too small. I don't want her in my hotel. Yeah, reject me. 13 years. I've had a 13-year-old returned. That's after she stayed for 3 years in Burkina Faso. She was returned, but she was trafficked at 13 years. Now, what human traffickers do is, they have a way of doing things that they even snap them. Kaito have a photo, eating them iti yombara. She kavu kaje vumba so bekasima chuku chuku chuku. So right now they are looking between 13 and 16 years. Those are the kind of girls that are going abroad and they are taken to. In short, what annoys me is that Mali is not better than Nigeria. Burkina Faso is not better than Nigeria. Even Ghana is not better than Nigeria. And Cote d'Ivoire. As in last year, we had these girls that went to Cote d'Ivoire that cried out. Never get any video. I tried. His Excellency Kwanengeve. But the thing about human trafficking is this. It's better they don't go through it because the trauma and the problems that they face, when they come back, rehabilitating them becomes very difficult. Like this girl that her womb was coming out. It takes the grace of God for her to now conceive. We took her to hospital. She had some form of medical attention. But Aru who go through Kuala, Mbeka Simbara Yavi meet His Excellency Vikaje, Yegba Vekpa condom, Naikba Kae Save Be condom la. It doesn't matter how many are in that pack of condoms, whether it's 30, you will not stop until it's finished. So it's not better we stop this thing from happening. I'm begging my mothers that after today, I know my mommy Wesichi, mommy Uta Benuechi. It has been an issue that has bothered you because you have seen it, you have heard it for real. So we need to map up a strategy. If every year I go for stakeholders meeting in Abuja and when they are projecting Benue, oh, Benue is the highest, I put my head down in shame. It wasn't our way. I did not even know this is happening in my state. So when I was transferred as the zonal commander to NAPTIP, Benue, I was just like marching like one proud TIF girl coming. The first thing that hit me December 2020 was a group of girls that were housed in North Bank by a guy that took one of them. She had the baby in Abia State. She was induced. She had the baby. They gave her just 100,000. They came back. So he had like 3 others that were pregnant there, and one that had the baby and was trying to convince them so that he takes them and sells those children too. And I said, in this state again. So what's happening with our neighbors? But thank God it was the landlord that said he kept seeing young girls camping in this boys' room, that reported to the vigilante, and NAPTI was called. What about human trafficking? Human trafficking generally, we say that it's a deceptive way. So kayo mba ikumave o kawe bagan branya mo hina wajivi yem kimali yabiza vidairin kwarashi edo na kwasu gen va iva nave kwasu nombo kwasu gen yirave kimali na ikave kimali ya kai kimbi in dollars. So alu one question agu pa ufawe uzaya uda ye kwala yo I can book it dollar na Nigeria ka ngwa dollar but I'll change $100 ngo nya ikira ka kinge yambe kasimba mo kwa ko da nyoje phone kwa kavungo ho uguma iveru we yo very nyoro nduen kwa so no ngo ho nyare she more hands a Ghana hena ka kimbi 1.5 million. We call it debt bondage, which the trafficker will say, unless you pay me the money I took you there, before you will go. And you must do, okay, even if I'm going to pay you, I'll and it can be 1.5 million in less than 8 months. It's not easy. In Benin Republic, can number using Cephas. That money sounds very big. But when you change it to Naira, it's not as much. But 1,000 Cephas. Okay, Yombamba Van. How many Cephas are they going to pay per round? So you see what the calamity they get in. And ka ben ya vi huge van. But sheni kuma ma ka rukela ya. Kai tave. Now, mba yesi mba gen kwa yira ye krumila. Urakpa mu na mu wolu ne ngoa shi ngutabe momi wa. Urakpa gbape yo kwa shami. Ye kwa mrutenye yo mpine mega. Alumba yesi mba vure kuma yo mba vure taha. Ba yemi krumia. Shingo simba niva zwa yemi da yarine surekpa. All the able-bodied men are going to go and farm in the southwest. So, who is going to farm our own land? Ma mimi kwara hiu happening already. Ngomba kasiwa yenka we carry ona yave surekani zwami. Ba ready yare o surega. Ba ready ga. Ka yen krumi. Ba nyem pinevachu nyen through training. I've not seen anybody that has gone to Krumi that have gone to build upstairs. Once again, I know some of them again back here in Yale. Come here, testing. The same people that we're talking about, the same areas that are known for Krumi are the most backward places. How many of them have come back and built one good house? But parents are well. Some of the parents are culpable. But Mariam Bagani Kaveje, Kavike, when Kavi one young Yanshin Yoruba. Ayen Yoruba Dairini. We had our stakeholders meeting in Abuja, and the Ondo State Task Force was interfacing with Benue Task Force, and they told me, say, Madam, you people have to come to Ondo. Many of your children are in prison. Why? The trafficker, because trafficking has different, we have the child labor, sexual exploitation, we have the forced labor. When they are taken there, they have made, you tell somebody that I will be paying you 10,000 naira a month. And in the whole year, 10,000 a month, that is how much? MC. Kaninara. So 10,000, that is 120,000 a year. Now, Arubaka, Nyoruka, Yosure, Yarin, Yosure, that's 120,000 a year, ga. And even with that, Ikave by Kimbi, Vehungonga Sa, Nyoma Bay. And before the year runs out, they are not paid. The agreement is that you will not be paid now until December. Now, those traffickers that already knew that these people, they are going to exploit them, tell them that they won't pay them. And maybe in another, by the time it's 8 months, they give you food once a day. They no kwa mom. Then she going to do yoga, iyamo paracetamol. What can't wait to? How about this is 8 months? Mo can be nyariki my kawe. Kwa inu yam na wela yo dido henga kwa nochi. And some of them will not just do that, they will now accuse them of stealing. And that is how they are in prison. It's their word against the small child. There was a time we intercepted some children from Konshisha. One, they were 11, 10, 9. And they said they were going to go and walk. I said, even your father's house, you can't sweep. And you want to go and walk where? And they'll pay you 10,000. So there must be a pronouncement that no child, this grooming thing must stop. I was in Vandicare for a survey 2 years ago. I had to stop interviewing that woman, go and cry and come back. She told me that her son came back a walking corpse. Yang one told me vakuma one kai wa ito iyeme one da ve kipurusu charge by charge unga wala luke zanza o una yila yo nakpa phone paluga wala yana ka ogeni kipurusu yana va yima wala na no wala duwe na wa motiva hungwa he junction he vandika helai aka yo nenge wana ke kongoga ya monfacho fai wala ka wanaga. And while ka wene peka very tom lala bageni ka ivirega here in Kurememine, a very big palm kernel plantation. They were working there. So some of them is to harvest. Ariveru line na ha kwalaka yenza za peda kichi we otile onwene pe kiga ikae ka woru harvesting line le shini no 1 to 3 of that to harvest. Now, whoa, go in the harvest and by who kura yem let me in factory where in kuremla. I came back again, he came with the hand, quala he tailor, she get quala machine la tondu way. My tondu way joke about shami paga. Now, never knew feko labor laws, yeah. That is forced labor. That's against the law. And okay, because of that, somewhere is this Ikurabia also. Vika moe, she came by with a pay, ira vega, with that talk coming by eve. Kawano Nazoda carrying Yarijila. So when something is not working, Koya says, hey, Benja Timba Zakurumi. Was Sega Side. It's not working. Krumi was Sega. Let's come back home. Sima complaining ye flan even go saying I agree totally. But the one that Sure Kahaga in gay a number esi Riyeme Krumi da Kahayo Sure. Baesi kave kura yemnemi house girl hungoi. Now what the traffickers do? Ke vakitati ike na wa wo ma kwasiti na ke no me no wu gani la kwambo eme uta. na momo. Ufa pezana wala gao. Ya say ya was via Jack Pashagani days and negijila. I don't look fact tradition me naga mommy, so sometimes a mistake. But for me tea yave kaida negi itindi ona da fight ko yombala. Chive wan kwasa na ye via hi yombala e. Mo na mba ipino wa mo uka wona ngwe mi utam na chicha. What do you to making your wearing? Ngoa. Say this my earring, give a person number over the negishami. Now, when we say causes of human trafficking, one is poverty. I always say it. For me, even yesterday, we argued in the hall. My boss from Abuja said, no, poverty. One of the ladies that came said, no, it's not poverty. We also grew up in Bayosiya. It's what your mother ate that you ate. Now, those Cote d'Ivoire girls that came back, if I cook in the shelter, in shelter, because and they came back with money. So, well, this is what I can offer you. Now, my officers, training no tia yana yakwa wo yan kwa ve o vesi baba wo shin go okpa o ze we ha nyam je yana gbidi oga number esi pa wa ko yagine dido mommy. They need to be told the right thing. But I strongly believe that if we mothers go back to the drawing board, I'll say go see him back. Shame Professor or one word he yaga faga. You can't get a complaint letter to NAPTIP. I didn't see my daughter for 5 days, for 2 weeks, and then I got a call from, she said she's been trapped in Ghana, she's been trapped in Burkina Faso, so the first night, you didn't think you should come to NAPTIP and say your daughter is missing. How can a mother not see a daughter for 2 weeks and still be eating and drinking? But it's happening. It's happening. Unyok, yave unage wanga. Upinega. One was see the yaga 1 week car, 2 weeks car. Ki ya one question that zwao na no phone. We once in a yellow car way. Mommy, yomba ya vi ore mo ve tamo Lagos. Nyon zave ve kwa kai va mo kitane ka Burkina Faso. Mama ki mo me baga. Fo fa for one we yaga ye. There was a time a man gave his children to somebody. And that's why I was very happy with the first presentation that says that we need to go to these places. Some of the thief, somebody came here from the thief communities in these places. They need to look out for what our thief brothers and sisters are doing there. Kaivakaya, kimishinguva hungo, ayemi ye yememba emba. Ola number na uta from okun. Na road safety intercept. See yila when ya. No member na one was 12, I think the other one 11, 10. Member not now with yem with a shintala. Oh no, ka so enemy che da me. That's the answer I got from a father. So even if oroyem na organ harvesting na do kaka crew ya she na do anything chi bakwa gbo shamiga shungwe forwarding address ga ufa peda na wala kpaga namba esimba kavi tavi de ki yavango hoyo mba emba yem ne na viala mommy ngura kwa ke kwa shami. My time is up, but I want to align with the recommendation by the first speaker. That we need to go to these places. If we carry intelligence, we know where our children are doing prostitution. And like I said, if they are below 18, they are children. they have no right to consent. We should determine what they should do. We are the mothers. Kase si wo e ka kwa gbe won kwese ne na e won kwese na re nyo onyo pu ka ni eni ga na ngo kuma orun ko aga. Consent is not an adult, yeah. That's why
where the generator is. So now check where they are controlling PA system.
We have lost many of our children. So last December, somebody spoiled my December. He sent me a picture in Cote d'Ivoire where a thief girl had died. And they just wrapped her in clothes and buried her in a shallow grave. Many are not going to come back. Many have gone already. Some of you have listened to the videos of some of them trapped in Libya. But getting back in Libya, I have a case right now with a prominent name. I won't call the name. They didn't know that their niece had left to Libya. By the time they knew, she was very ill. Yeah, we team Bakela, we Nigerian Bakela, we yam ticket ba, give in the town because she was very ill. She was now, we connected them to IOM, International Migration, International Organization for Migration. And yeah, she do one on free flight, but she died before then. And this family is a prominent family. So when Christmas is coming, let's have meetings with our communities. She meeting no tombula shimba elin hejo. Atu yani ye na hakpa ye like a head count. Vianguje. Let's check on ourselves. Let's check on our children. Via oyo mwamba yota namba hana. Ba yo mbane ne kapa ya TV pine la guy. Ba yo mbane ne badza hana ne. Yana yeru meeting ba na ha shingemba yekpa vuva. Shiva evaga kwa ipine. My mothers and my fathers, I have some men here. I deeply appreciate this opportunity. I couldn't have been talking to a better crowd than this crowd. Standing on this podium talking to you is a cry for help. We need to rescue our children, both from child abuse, child trafficking, child labor, forced labor, sexual exploitation, organ harvesting, and all these vices. Please, as mothers are agents of change. Mothers can do it. If they can't do it, then the world is doomed. Benue is not doomed. I've told them yesterday in the training I was carrying out that by next year, the statistics will drop. Because I believe that after this meeting that we're going to have, and the recommendations that we're giving were exactly, I'll show her some of the recommendations I gave. We need to empower them. We need to have a credit scheme. We need to go and check on them. If you go to Lagos, you see them, you know where they are. If you go to Benin, anytime you drop in Benin, they say, oh, you want take me where those thief girls are. They say, no, those thief girls, when they do prostitution, then they here. So let's go. If they won't come home, mommy, we'll go to them and we'll rescue them. I deeply appreciate again my mommy. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Msunechi ngoachi msune. Tomneka wama uyuwa muzamreveni. Join me. Zwanene vesi. Wanemba yesi. Thank you so much.
Nelo moya kulaona nevega. Se una number one ayo baso ema zo number wowe. Alo lama na wea. Oh hanga. Oh hangwa. We via namba we fire nanga wea. 080 O ma niene ma o utaruta ma manuta anie ni manatra uta tank atrata manotankro ha olonge kwa de wa kuzwa bute ne hamba wanga ne wa kuzwa TV and birds tachi
080 33 13 83 67. Anapti has a short code. It's 627 star 627 or call 627. Was it 67? 627. Thank you.
Hashabe se songo wasitembele anakwala higen ko hako se fa chivri yan chaya mangi ka o kwa genje o nyezwa kela titachije ewa bayo chivri yan chaya kwara ka kwa tembeleje program na wasane kulona betembele kwa
Right.
se so kiki
Just waiting.
on a very tomodo to a very native alo ko team koro kishima sutu e corona haya se higene samba kan mnyero His Royal Majesty boy active hishenes na hombe menti puana si the CM shin studio Benue Television I mean Tivtelevision, sorry. TV. Now silo ha CEO o Tivtelevision bona vashana watona mintu tana hachu sifa kwa TV alwele nshachu TV na chu Mrs. Doka sukwe welu moya wala ma TV shakwa TV alwele ya shene sigama shene shina shin studio higena ofata monda so baganje benye he besu yoga na na fata so na yo higen pa bi higa menti ba puomba na is the Tivtelevision studio o ba so jam so state to Nasarawa benyo ka uniform he je wadonwa nwa shambagba ne luma ya tire na sha sinanga ben ngwa kai kwala do na ga papa be ba tsembe tsune be ba kwa sha gwari sha la shin e gbagia do nanga man ka timba sha gbagi tsembe sisune ne shirinya TV sisu kiki
Msu the chief sampari ka TV kwa Your Royal Majesty ngo ta chichi ufeka ngo ti we look in Nigeria, we look in America, we look in Canada, South Africa, Brazil, Italy, Oluchi, Olutivia, Kango Jene, Kango Wasi Jene. Your Royal Majesty, dignitaries, Sasema Vihin Sheikh Pishiga. Na si sunek bishi uva hen mane nenge ya Tivtelevision elu hen ga ya tama onenge vene na kwa ka wisdom ngwa wase o anda ne on vete wase ya be kai do bishi Use pase duwe sha humbe ya se lamzo ati. Kase za kebo. Kase nenge African Magic Yorubaga. African Magic Igbo. African Magic Hausa. Then number 4 la kase nenge mi. Na te wasi mango wasi. Vinenge kumape weza number 4 la ya. Ushonyi la ya elunyi Tivtelevision. She alo duo zendita semba si zenditi akpishi. Kawa da nengene o ne la ma 5 minutes minute you time be na ipine. So where are you from? Where ya wo kahana? She alo duo esilu na Yoruba vela nyo henu hwa ve deri amawe.
Veyem la manzo Yoruba kaye. Hausa ve the same thing. Igbo same thing. Nah. Professors mavelam vefa kwa avec pichi vefa zwa bouteille pichi shi vefa zwa ti pa vekae viso mavelam zwa ti ma hemba na ha shi viso mba yeve mavelam zwa ti ma hemba na ha shi viso kasi ze nenge television gbemne se buya zwa ti kwa urushami ilame zwa ti na hayele translation kijwa geni kai na shika na haga Tivtelevision va ka utesise zwati utesise movies bakizwati utesise ma kizwati utesise tsama na mo akizwati semba gaya sitaka woncha gba anyom ka junugbe am loki wonye mamla anjo pishi pa ezuo kamela memfame ngu wanti shimgu kwasiti shimgu culture ya kazwati shimso mama sife setiv sihimba pasifaga olova to se na ke teseri nenge sihimbaga alwe se yo yase se to yo yasigaya kana ha Tivtelevision ya vaya ngo wasi mate wasi vingo hove karakara mi nitima he o momo wan duwa wasika enene nanyare ahi Tivtelevision yava karakara mi higene Tivtelevision ngusha humbe shi palace te wase mango wase vinna se ji ima studio isolun studio usulu Tivtelevision ya neza ya sifati otesene kave we kwararu eri kave we nyare ke hachu vinenge kunya ko ravese alwe semba he yo kave vote se kwa na have lwanzo tivga bave expect se lanzo aveshika ye higbo he zahitaido la nongo wo kwara tsonenge za Hausa za Kano da nongo wo kwara tsonenge na ha kai hive te wasi mango wasi vinenge shekuma uti bave luwe gbendola menzuave tesimba yeyase zwa wase tesimba yeyase akase na ave va maremba yeya vekpa vegma ve tesimba yeve kane kape yeve ajire genene kaye temble azami jera na kaye te wasi nguvane bako sena pa iru hange MC kaye ba pesife hive Tivtelevision elusha humbe manilu hige shi ne tim heve tachi lulu nenge nevese ma ilu television wene shone alu tesene ya somsu ne pishi hama shi osizwa ya Tivtelevision ne valu lama nzwa tivsi unwaga simsu ne chi sisu se chi sisu ngwa wase
ngwa enelo nege nelo shaven vana kam nyelo beaptive nyam kume yanto hoga nyam kume nyuma hiuga nyam kume kona yesen ba nyam kuto hochi we ha wo yo kawana lo vai mangona nyena ne sada kaka o ina na mo tireshaga sa huwe une lueje mba haji mama na feka iwe ye kaona kalenje ngwa kamnyelo bua tivjela chaya bua tivnyo wo fogo temnya ya kativuru temparen ngwa shagba tivjela shagba tiv ngwa ngwa shinya petawase Elubanyoro Nemnenge President General Umzo Tiv Jiminchi Avanyo Boyanyo Karakuwe Kwasana Kya Mamba President General Umzo Tiv Kita Jiminchi Baba Gure Nenge Chairman U Central Planning Committee U Tiv Day Professor Adanguru Nation Professor Machi Vinguru Nation Ngwa Masinaya Baurishin Kwato Tivne Ve entertain se Ngwa Kamnyelo bua jala chayamti to wasite manane lume hede shirine nya ngwa enyi ngwa na sina seso sina bahin para siambe na semsanyo boa ne nam sanyo boa mase zahamene program ngwa ka banyoro na tojela ne nam sanyo boa ngwa se namba yamba shin maka team shin kwapto ve nam san yo poa ma suzahmen Itayam alo za Tivtelevision ha ma kolole henu nenge wa wanjana o mbaki yabe ba han ko tema ka television be nagami
ya tane wa bia yuli yesu du tembe o ya tane wa bia yuli yesu se du tembe kuma shawen dala kondon mame aya ya uru kendi wada ya nana to si washa ole yave kwanandelo nengi pelu okwa mi mana ili ya tane wambia yuli yesu duwe tembive o ya tane wambia yuli yesu se duwe tembive kuma shame dala kondo me ya uru kendi wa daya nana to si washa ole yave kwanandelo nengi pelu okwa mi mana ili ya tane wambia yuli yesu duwe tembebe o ya tane wambia yuli yesu se duwe tembebe kuma shawe dala kondo me ya uru kendi wada ya nana do si washa ole yawe kwanandelo nengi peru okwa mi